If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No, no. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
Man, that was very powerful. There's so much to unpack in this video right here and what he gets at. I don't know who the gentleman is, and I know you guys get mad a lot of times. I just see the clips and I just give my thoughts on it. But I've covered a video about this very early on in the infancy of my channel about you should be like children. Even as adults, you should be like children in terms of time for play. You should never lose that innocence. And it brings me to a quote of one of the great Islamic caliphs, the second Khalifa to be exact, Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph after the messenger of God, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Umar ibn al-Khattab, he actually said that a man should be like a child, i.e. playful when he's with his woman, but when it's time to be a man, he should be a man. It's one of the great quotes attributed to Umar ibn al-Khattab. May God be pleased with him. He was also known as Amir al-Mu'minin and also al-Faruq. Very stern man. This is coming from one of the sternest men probably in history. Very stern man that would say this. And he recognized the beauty in this. And that, I think, in terms of relationships, is what makes relationships work, is the fact of the playfulness, the playful banter, the back and forth, to be like children when you're with your significant other. Because the beauty of children, babies, little ones, for those of you who have had experience with little ones other than you growing up, because you were once a child once upon a time, the innocence that comes with it. The beauty is that children don't hold grudges. They may get angry, upset. Their emotions are fluid, right? They don't hold grudges. They don't get mad and just say, I'm not talking to you anymore. They fight, they bicker, whatever, and they get right back to playing like it was nothing. Because that's how it is being a child. But as adults, as we grow older, we become jaded. We hold grudges. We see the world through a different lens, not through that as a child. And you hear so many people saying, I wish I can go back to the time when I was a child. Many people say this. Many people don't. I like the times when I was a child, but to be able to have that disposition, that wonder of a child, I think is something that we should all hold on to as an adult, because our burdens tend to hold us down. We get upset. We have bills. We have the adulting sets in. I don't know how I'm going to survive this. I don't know what I'm going to do. We talk about Disney and cartoons and things like that. You got Neverland, Peter Pan, because he just talked about Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. But you got Peter Pan, who never grew up. But at Neverland, the kids never grow up. They live this life. Their imagination allows them to do the things they do. But when they actually grow up, he comes back, it's a completely different story. But to know the magic of being a child and being in that place is just an innocence that comes with it. And I think when you look at relationships like that, and if you can't have that type of relationship dynamic with your significant other, I think there's going to be some issues. You should always be able to be playful and be jovial and have a good time with each other. That's how it should be. But when it's time for adult things, it's time for adult things. When it's time for adult situations, it's time for adult situations. But I think this is what keeps relationships long lasting. when they go by these things, or when they enjoy each other like that and they don't take themselves too seriously when it comes to that. Love should be playful. Love should be kind. Love should be enduring. Not something that is just like, oh, I'm mad at you, and we're never talking to each other again. Or I'm calling you names, and let's just call it quits. Let's just do that. Or we're beating each other up and things like that. No. Just you get your bickering out and just go on and loving each other. I think that's one of the most important things. And I think Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, he got it right. For someone that's so stern, someone that's so intense to say this, I think is something very important. I think as men, we need to look at this as well. A lot of you ladies too, we wear our emotions on our sleeves. We get mad, we get angry, but we never tend to come back. We hold on to that mad and that anger for days instead of being more forgiving, right? Instead of being more open to the idea of things are just fun, right? You're only here once. Why spend it just being mad, angry, and upset? And you did this, you did that, you hurt me, but hey, would you be with me? And just insulting someone and expecting. Everybody likes to be complimented. Everybody likes a smile. Everybody likes to feel like somebody isn't mad or angry or upset with them and that they have been forgiven. That's what people like to feel. So think about that, guys. Ladies too, think about that. When you go home, just think about that. How are you towards your significant other? How are you towards your boyfriend, your girlfriend? And try to incorporate those things and see how much your relationship changes. See how much that person changes towards you or acts towards you with just a smile, especially if you're one of those people that don't smile. Just think about it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about all this. How do you guys feel about what he said? Because before you know it, a lot of times life will pass you by quickly. And then at an old age, you'll be like, I wish I wasn't so hard. I wish I was more friendly. I wish I was more polite. I wish I was more playful. I wish I didn't treat them like this. And the person could be gone out of your life at that point. Anyway, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.
Yeah. 50 Cent. 50. Part 2. Yeah.
Can't forget Tony.
50.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Can't forget Tony.
50.